Hello, welcome to our program, Nuestro Círculo, for our youth here at Casa Círculo. Um, we have a partnership with Peninsula 360, and today's topic will be about domestic violence. So, in a couple seconds here, we will be asking our guests that are connected live as well what they think domestic violence is. And hello, my name is Yeshovia, your guys' host. Okay, so here we have Naomi, Brianna, and Mia. So, hello guys. Can you guys introduce yourselves real quick? Starting off with Naomi, please.
I'm Naomi and I'm 11 years old.
Brianna, can you go next, please?
I'm Brianna and I'm 14 years old.
All right, and finally Mia, can you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Mia and I'm 12 years old.
Okay. So today, as you know, our topic is about domestic violence. So, Naomi, can you give us your thoughts about what domestic violence is, please?
Domestic violence is actually really bad and it can affect your mental health state. By a lot, it can make you extremely insecure and you can also get help, but sometimes it doesn't really work out.
Thank you. Um, Now moving on to Brianna. Um, Brianna, could you please give us your opinion on domestic violence and what you think about it?
Domestic violence is definitely something that's really bad and can come in all forms: verbal, physical, mental, sexual abuse, and something that no one should have to go through.
Finally, Mia, can you give us your opinion on domestic violence, please?
I think domestic violence is a very bad thing. It can happen to anybody, and it's usually happens in family, in close families.
Thank you. Moving on to our second question. Has your guys' school ever talked about domestic violence? Naomi?
No, we have not talked about this yet.
No. Okay, thank you. Moving on to Brianna. Has your school ever gone over domestic violence?
No, we have not.
Thank you. Mia, has your school ever talked about it?
No, my school has never talked about domestic violence.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to our third question. Have you guys ever heard of anybody you know or any cases about domestic violence? Naomi?
There are many with some famous people or even idols, but I don't remember the names on top of my head, and no one that I really know in real life. I don't think they're suffering from this.
Okay, thank you. Brianna?
I have heard about different cases of domestic violence, but personally, I don't know anyone who's gone through it.
Thank you. Mia?
Yeah, I gotta agree with them. I have heard cases, but nobody personally that I know hasn't gone through it.
Okay, thank you. Following up with our next question, what do you guys think the age range or, male, female, do you think anybody can go through domestic violence or just one person, you know? Naomi?
I think mostly about any age, any gender, really almost anything can go through domestic violence. It has to be a living thing though, like a human being.
Okay, thank you. Brianna?
Any person of any age or gender can go through this.
Thank you. Mia?
Yeah, I have to say the same. Anybody, any gender, any age can go through this.
Okay, thank you. Why does domestic violence happen? Naomi?
It may happen because someone isn't happy about it, or in their eyes, it looks different the whole entire world to them.
Okay, thank you. Brianna?
There might be multiple reasons, but some of which may be someone isn't confident in their relationship or they're just very insecure about what's happening.
Thank you. Mia?
There are a lot of ways that domestic violence can start. But I just think that the one that's maybe that they're not happy, or yeah, like they're not happy.
Yeah. And I actually follow up on that. I really do think it's like, just toxic relationships, I feel like you can see it coming from the type of person and how they act. So just be careful with that, be cautious, definitely you can see some signs and stuff once people start, talking bad to you, making you feel bad. Just don't stay in that type of relationship. As soon as people start switching up, talking to you differently, treating you differently in a bad way, obviously, don't stay in a relationship like that. But our next question is, sorry, give me a sec. What forms of domestic violence do you think there is, Naomi?
I think the most common one, in my opinion, is the one it's physical. It's not like they're verbally talking to you about it. They're actually harming you with like beating you maybe up or something like that.
Thank you. Brianna?
I believe the one that goes the most unnoticed easily is verbal abuse, where they're constantly just saying things to put you down. But there are other forms like sexual, physical, or mental.
Thank you. Mia?
I gotta say that I think it's physical, cause it's like one that can happen more like in private. I feel like.
Thank you. And now for the segment, The Great Factor, from our friend Brianna Rivera. I didn't know.
So, I'm going to talk about evolution. Evolution is the adaptation or changes of living things. For example, we have adapted from monkeys or different stems of monkeys, but things have traveled all across the world and been able to adapt to their surroundings and their food. So there's different types of turtles in South Africa and different types of turtles in Mexico that all originated from some of the same things, but all adapted to their surroundings of the weather, their food, and what they're able to eat in that habitat. Other examples of this are otters, where their whiskers over time have grown, so they're able to survive in longer and in better places. And adaptation isn't just them growing, but them also learning about their environments.
All right. And thank you, Brianna, for that little talk. Now we will be back to the topic about domestic violence. So starting off from where we left off, we had a big conversation about what types of domestic violence there are. Which one do you guys think? What type of domestic violence do you guys think is the biggest that you see the most common of? Naomi?
I think the most biggest and commonest one is a verbal one because you can hear it a lot and a lot and a lot most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Brianna?
Some people may think physical, but I disagree with that. I believe it's verbal because it's such small things that they can say that can go unnoticed to strangers passing on the street. And they can do it out in the open or they can say it in private, and those are the things that can affect us most.
Yeah, and that's a very good example because you see on a daily how people actually, you know, say verbal offensive things to other people, and a lot of us don't really notice it, you know? We just think it's like we walk by, we don't notice it. But it's something that really happens on the daily that, you know, it's just unnoticed, and it's very bad. You know, you guys have any questions? You know, anything you guys want to ask um about domestic violence? No. um what can we conclude about domestic violence, like um you know, our conclusion about what we learned, what we know, Naomi?
It is extremely horrible and it can really affect a person.
Thank you. Brianna?
It's a horrible thing, but we also, as bystanders, we have to notice the little signs. For example, if one of our friends are going through this, they might become more reserved, or they might not want to go out as much, or you might see that they get really scared around their significant other or someone else. So it's important that not only they notice the signs, but we do as well.
Okay. And so what is one thing we can do to help these people, you know, Naomi?
Probably you can make them talk to you. Like you
Mhm.
can always be there for them, and like you can be someone that they can always come to and talk to you.
Thank you very much. Brianna?
It's important that they know that they're not alone and that they're able to talk to someone of authority, like a police officer or a doctor, that they're not safe.
Okay. And that concludes our session of domestic violence for today. Thank you guys. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Brianna. Um, and yeah.